Welcome, friends, to a live meeting.
Am I still here?
I think you and I are still here. Hello, everybody. We're waiting for Donna to get back in here.
The power of my electricity has killed everything.
I think it has. Oh my gosh. Talk about crazy women country. Here we are.
So powerful. And
I know. Oh no, wait, let's conjure her back. I think it might be happening. Is it? There she is. Yes, indeed.
Hello.
Hello.
You're the
I know. So I'm like, there is this thing coming up. Like, wait, what came up? And then everything closed. I'm like, oh, I think I just left the meeting. I'm sorry.
This is something that
we carried on without you.
Oh, wonderful.
Back to you.
Okay, so welcome everyone to a lovely live event here with Crazy Women Country and Artemis Fest founders, Kathy Stamps and Steph Mahan. How y'all doing, ladies?
Hey.
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great. Thanks for having us. I want to also give out a shout out to Kelly Boyd and Beth Wilson, who are our other co-founders.
Yep.
And they are happy to not be on camera, and we are happy to jump in here anytime we can. So here we are.
We're like
You just love the crazies.
I'm in Arkansas painting my parents' houses. If anyone's close by within a 100-mile radius, I'll pay you in beer.
Free beer to paint, y'all. Come on.
Yeah. And my lovely personality and conversation.
There
That's
you
all
have
I
it.
can offer.
Can't go wrong with that. Oh, so who would like to be my first victim?
Oh, I'll be the sacrificial lamb, and I'll let Steph catch her breath from painting. How's that?
Thanks, Stampy.
Oh, sounds good to me. So we always start off with a difficult question here.
Oh.
So instead of asking you who is, as in yourself, tell us, what is Artemis Fest?
Well, Artemis Fest is in its second year. It's a festival that was conceived really to bring women in Americana together under on one stage to create some community, to meet each other's and network, and also to cross-market to each other's fan bases as a way to build their followings and their exposure. And we're very much putting a stake in the ground for diversity. So that includes age, that includes race, that includes sexual orientation, that includes gender identification, that includes straight, gay, all different styles. So we're really looking to bring everybody together. And, you know, the very short version is it's a beautiful farm. Everybody can come outdoors, spread out, even in this post-COVID kind of still COVID situation we have going on, and just have a great day of great music. And it's kind of that old hippie aesthetic that I can't get over, which is peace, love, and music, you know, out on the farm, and everybody's invited. Everybody's supported, and it just feels really good to have everybody be together, no matter who, as long as you fit in with this, you know, under the umbrella of women in Americana music. And we're bringing the good stuff to everybody. So we're digging on that. Steph, what would you add?
I tell you, it was, I still go back to that ending night of last year. I left it as hard as we all worked. I left so energetic and so full of inspiration. And not because I was an artist, but even the people I talked to who were in the audience left inspired to go out and seek out new music and go out and hear more live music and find more music that they just don't hear on the radio. And they left with their hearts full. That's really, and I'm gonna get teary-eyed, but right now we need all the love we can get. God, and I left so full of, I couldn't stop hugging people. It was just one of those magical times. I don't know, it hit me just at the perfect moment.
I actually want one of my main goals is to be able to attend this year, because I got COVID right before the festival last
story.
year. I watched it on live stream. It looked fabulous and sounded really great. And everybody told me how wonderful it was. So we want to do it again so I can attend.
Absolutely. I was just going to ask you about that because I'm glad that you mentioned it. I remember us talking last year and it was something else. I was like, no, after all that planning and everything else that happens, you're like, can't go now. So,
and we didn't
all
know
good.
until 2 days before. And we were like,
Mhm.
no. I just knew it was all going to fall apart, but she was on the phone with somebody at all times.
Well, see,
Pretty
it
much.
all works out. Everything works out. Yeah.
Yes.
It does. It's going to work out even better this year.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
and I
So-
can't, I don't think I ever have gone out in public and did a show or whatever, and somebody didn't say, "Are you guys going to do Artemis Fest again this year?" It's kind of cool. So I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Absolutely. So speaking of some of the great talent, do you want to tell us some of the great talent that's going to be there this year?
Me and Jonelle are back, and Stampy.
Yeah. Jonelle Mosser, we'll talk. I'm going to talk about Steph in a minute too, because that was not a good intro to her and her talent. But I'll start with Jonelle since you mentioned her. Jonelle Mosser is somebody that if you listen to 90s country, early 2000s country, you probably have her in your record collection, CD collection. She's like a backup singer go-to and has been for years and years and years. And one of our sponsors this year is Third and Lindsley, which is one of the best live rooms in Nashville. And they call it the house that Jonelle built because she, has packed the house for decades, literally decades, packed the house.
Yeah, literally
every time she plays. And she and I actually had a band called Yo Mama back in college. And Kathy Mack was the third party. There was one other person, but the three of us have stayed close. And Kathy Mack has the sound contract for Third and Lindsley. So she's gone on to be a recording artist, a Grammy-winning recording artist with a group called Wild Rose that was really like a precursor to Dixie Chicks. They all played their own instruments and stuff.
A producer.
What was that?
A producer of my last record.
Oh, yes. So we've all worked together for a long time. And so it's really good to see her get what I feel like is more of what's due to her in terms of attention and spotlights after, she tears it up. She's got a voice like nobody else. So she's one person that's on this, only one person on the stage. We have a woman who is a legend in town, Frankie Staten. She was one of the first Black country artists, and of course ran right into the wall of racism that was, very thick and very high. And not that it's a whole lot better now, but it's better than it was then. But she is still just been lighting up stages. She's still playing, for a living, has stayed in Nashville, has supported all these other people. But it's time for her to have more attention as well. And I'm very excited for her to be on the stage. And another person that we have is Rachel Rodriguez, who she plays at like the top places in Nashville and other areas as well. But she grew up doing a combination of country and mariachi as a kid, and her dad had a band, so she sang with him. But she is just really amazing. I'm thrilled to have her. Steph Mahan, of course. I always say that she does confessional pop country because I just think she writes, you always write from the heart, but she's such a good songwriter. First off, I think you're just an amazing songwriter.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
Well, yeah, and performer as well. So, that's a good combination. But I'm looking forward to bashing around playing some percussion behind her this year, which I did.
I always like to say I write sad songs, but I'm really funny in between. So no one really wants to go jump off a bridge.
Exactly. Exactly. Mia Byrne is on our roster this year too. I'm really thrilled. I met Mia last year at Americana Fest, and we struck up a friendship, and I was talking about this, but she's a trans performer who she's been picked from CMT as being one of the women to watch. She just had a feature in Rolling Stone. She's getting all kinds of well-deserved attention. She signed with KRS Records, which is they're creating an imprint in Nashville. They were the home out on the West Coast of Bikini Kill back in the day, and a bunch of other people that, folks who follow the music back then would be paying attention to. They've been busy all this time, but I'm excited for her. She's got a new album coming out. Minton Sparks.
Oh,
She is not a singer, but she does performance to music, has always a great backing person. I'm not sure who's going to be with her this time, but she works a lot with John Jackson, who's a legend here himself, guitar player. But I had a friend who, her name's Marshall Chapman, and she's a local rock star legend herself in Nashville. But she described it as if, I think it was Patsy Cline and the ghost of,
Minnie Pearl, wasn't it?
no, I'm going to get it wrong. But anyway, it's the ghost of Hank Williams hooking up with one of the pioneer women authors. And anyway, I'm messing it all up. There you go.
I always
But
thought it was like a nowadays Minnie Pearl.
Really?
Yeah, because she just does that spoke, and she's funny, but yet she's very poignant.
Yes. And it's just a transformative kind of transcendent experience that's hard to describe until you see it. That's the best thing I can say is I was mesmerized from day one when I saw her on this little tiny stage, and I've been to see her in big stages and small stages since, and it's magical every time. And I just think it's going to blow people away. But boy, does that fit as like a root piece of Americana. And I don't want to leave anybody else, so I'm going to double check. One of the things we're doing this year, I want to be sure and say this, and then Steph, I'm going to turn it over to you, so I won't be talking the whole time. But we've got two things. One I'm excited about, it's our Champions initiative. And so what we've done this year is ask all of the singing performers to champion one new person or one person that they think should get some more attention. And so what they're doing is bringing them up to sing at least one song. I'm mentioning one person here just because I have a little more information, but Frankie Staten is bringing up a woman named Valerie Ellis Hawkins, who I'm telling you, is stone country like you don't hear on the radio anymore, but it's from that like Randy Travis school. It is so good. And she's somebody that if you like, old school country music, I hear people say all the time, I miss the old school. Well, this is your ticket to get a good shot of that. But we're also doing a songwriters round to introduce a few newer people right out of the gate. And so it's a little bit of everything. But back to Steph's point earlier from last year, we had Autumn Nicholas was one of the people. If you don't know who she is, you need to check her out. She's amazing. But she was fairly new in town. We were able to get her on the roster for last year. And I went to see her again later when she did a show at City Winery, and I looked around, and about half the people there were people who were from Artemis Fest. So talking about, people finding people they want to continue to follow, back to what Steph was saying earlier, it's definitely been a great opportunity for that. And we're really looking forward to doing more of it. And I'll stop now.
You're so good at this, Stampy.
She is. I think we should just let her host too while we're at it.
I'm just sitting here just drinking and just listening, going, yep, I did it.
Yeah. I'm just going to stop and play drums from here on out. It's all good.
All right, then. Well, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, whatever makes you
That's
happy.
why I brought the corgi in.
It's I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's been chaotic for all of the founders. We've all had something happen major in our life. My father passed away, and Kelly's got family things going on right now. But we had to do it. It's important. I think it's important for the music business. It's important for it's just important for the music business. Actually, it's just so important because we need to get more women out there, and we need to and to expose people. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm not blonde and 23. That doesn't mean I suck. And I'm sorry I'm a lesbian. I'm sorry that I don't suck just because I'm a lesbian and old. It's just all these women just didn't have the opportunity because of one. I'm not going to say who it was, but not too awful long ago, I had a producer come up to me and he said, "Man, I love the way you sing. And I would sign you if you were blonde and 23. And I looked down at him because I'm quite a bit taller than him. And I was like, oh, well, too bad. I'm who I am, and walked away. But bubble over my head was, I want to squash you like a bug, but I did not. But we need to, there's so many wonderful, and I'm going to admit this to everybody right now. I, as an artist, I do get jealous of people, of other artists who have gotten somewhere if they're not nice. But man, we don't get anyone on that stage that's not going to go out into the audience and meet people. We only ask people to come and sing for us that are nice and real and who have gone through everything that everyone in that audience has gone through. And I do not get jealous of people who have actually fought for getting to where they are. And every single woman on this stage, and I think every single woman in the audience, has had to fight sometime in their life to get where they want to go. And that's sad that we have to fight if we're just as talented as anybody else. And that's the crux of it. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox.
That's a good soapbox. I was just going to say, and the other thing is, we're really set up in the industry to embrace a sense of scarcity that's not in existence. It's a created thing. It's not a natural thing. And I think women have been pitted against each other. Part of that's country radio. I'm so grateful that there are other outlets like what you're doing with Crazy Women Country and with a bunch of other outlets that did not exist before. Leslie Fram's doing that great thing with the Next Women of Country for CMT. Reese Palmer, who was very helpful and did not have to be. I mean, she was very generous just to set a meeting with me to let me ask some questions. And she led me to Frankie, who I knew of, but didn't think to reach out to because she was not at the top of my radar recently, So it's back to that. It's like, who has not gotten their due, not for lack of talent, not for lack of anything, except opportunity and somebody saying, hey, come play. People need to hear you. And that's what we are really about. And that's, there's room for everybody. And boy, it's so nice to see women artists come together to make this incredible music, first off, but also to support each other. And, some of my goals include having people meet each other and say, oh, you need to come open for me. And then we'll swap, I'll come open for you. And just how to keep that going in a way that I'm hoping will build a bigger grassroots movement from which people can get lifted up more easily, and also train audiences to come and listen to people that they wouldn't ordinarily do and see that as the normal thing to do is, hey, all these people, I would not necessarily have chosen to go see this person, but wow, am I glad I saw her,
Yeah.
So that's in my heart about all of this.
Absolutely. And I think that's exactly how it should be. I mean, the deficit's there in radio. I mean, I can't say that's going to come back in the next 10 years. It took 20 years for us to go from 35% women to 8%, right? So again, another 20 years, we might get back up there and where the 90s were with women. But
man,
it's
I
not
miss
just country; it's all over, all areas. But I mean, and all the women that have been releasing new music, and it's sad that we have to go search for it. And that's I think the hardest part is creating the platforms, creating the space, finding the connections, like you said. And that's one thing that we've always tried to do here is create the connections and get people to meet each other. And whether it's writers, singers, artists, whatever, industry professionals that can help someone out. Maybe it's just a conversation they're having, whatever. And that's kind of the goal of what we're trying to do, is to promote women overall and make it, something that should have always been. It shouldn't have been, pitted against. Women should not be put against each other. There is more than enough. And I know Stampy and I have had this conversation that there is definitely more than enough out there for everyone.
Yeah.
And that there's no such thing as scarcity.
Donna, at your thing, I met so many wonderful people, and I think you were when you picked the people to play, I think you went through everybody and said, okay, I think they will, and you fit everyone really well together. It was really a great festival. It was such a good festival.
And speaking of which, we cannot pass by talking about your festival without mentioning how the headliner just came in 5th for America's Got Talent, Chapel Heart, which that was the first time I'd met them was at that event. And we have stayed in some contact since then. And we got to hang out and go to dinner and just chat and get to know each other afterwards. And those are the kinds of girls. Yeah, those are the kinds of situations where we would never have gotten to cross paths, or if so, it wouldn't have been in such a free, open way where we could hang out because they would have been the only women on the bill, or we would have been the only women on the bill, or there might be us and one other, somebody else that wasn't there, you know, and that's back to that scarcity thing. And I am such a believer in creating community, and that's what we hope to do, like what you were doing with your festival. Like I know there's several groups are working on that also around different focus areas of music too. And I am hoping that at some point we'll be able to build from this grassroots thing where we've got somebody here and create a bigger network that can create an ongoing space for people that, you know, it's not just once a year at Artemis Fest or once a year at Crazy Women Country Festival, or, you know, whatever it is that we can build from here. And that is the goal. You know, I feel like we've gotten a lot more support from sponsors that I don't know if they would have supported us before this year. Not for any reason other than we just weren't on the radar or whatever. But we've had a couple of people who've reached out and said, we want to support your mission and would love to come on as a sponsor.
Yeah.
And our we've got quite a range of sponsors, which is fantastic. Everything from, you know, tattoo shops to music venues to a local community church who believes in our mission too and wanted to be a part of it. You know, we've got a little bit of everything.
Music and all woman music store that Fanny's, which is great. I mean, because it's a woman owned music store, which is very great.
Yes. So we've got all kinds of, you know, diversity in that way as well in building. So, you know, we've got a lot of room to grow clearly, but
and I love when guys,
we're trying to get the bones right.
Yeah. And guys are coming to support us. I mean, it's just, I wish we didn't have to go men, women support, you know, and I just wish that it's music, man. We should all just be one, really, truthfully. It doesn't, but we're not. And it's men's music, women's music. And I'm like, why can't we just be music? You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I just like we all kind of all together. I don't know. Maybe
But I think, again, that goes back to the industry making it happen that way. And it's not so much, you know, those artists like yourself and stuff like that. It's not so much you all where, you know, you see the festivals again that are, you know, 2 women on a festival lineup of 20, right? Yeah. So that's what it comes down to, is then putting all the males in there. And then, you know, if it was 50-50 or even 40-50, okay, we could see that. We get it. Okay, that would be fine. Yeah. But that, I think, overall is the issue. I think, you know, we got to break those barriers and, you know, just like back when Lilith Fair proved that it could be substantial and it could work, you know, back in the 90s there. Yeah. So, you know, I think just creating the platforms like we are and making them work and networking and sharing within each other. I think that's how we're going to break this cycle. And hopefully we may not break it totally for our generations, but hopefully for future generations, it gets better. You know, that's all we can hope for, is try to make each day better.
Yeah.
Well, and I still am holding out hope for not leaving people behind just because they came early in the movement. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So back to the ageism, which is a piece of what's happening as well. So, you know, some people had their shot and were shot down, basically, is how I would describe that, because of some reason, you know, that we won't even go into that any further, except just some bogus reason that came up. But they're still as talented as ever, if not more so, because now they have life and experience behind them.
And I think a lot of them want it more. And you know, I think a lot of them want it more. The older women, okay, I'm just going to say for myself, I want it just the amount. I mean, I don't even care if I'm famous. I just want to keep playing music and not say, well, she's going to die of a heart attack on stage, you know, because she's so old.
I was going to say, if you did, it would be for some other evil behavior, not for age.
Yeah.
Cracked myself up. And I didn't lose.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'm funnier than I really am. Sorry.
you crack us up, Steph. You do.
I'm gonna get yelled at probably by my wife after we get hang up, but that's okay.
It's all good.
oh
So
my gosh.
let's tell everyone exactly. So where is this at? Where can they get tickets at? Let's go into all of that.
Absolutely. You can get tickets right now on Eventbrite. Just look up Artemis Fest 2022 at Eventbrite. That'll take you right to it. Or you can go to our website, artemisfest.com, and it tells you, it shows some photos from last year. If you want to check them out, it has some info about this year's artists, so you can check them out, but also has links to go get tickets as well. It's in Madison, Tennessee, which is just north of Nashville, about 10 minutes north of Nashville, at a 44-acre farm in the middle of a neighborhood. I mean, you would just, nobody would ever know it was there.
47.
47, 40, oh, well, that,
Right, 47
that 3
acres.
acres is, that extra 3 acres.
And the
But-
cool thing is, you drive down, blah, 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 you drive down, you park in a field, and then you get brought up to the festival on the back of a, like a big tractor pulls you up on a bed of something, I don't know.
Hey, yeah,
Hey,
no,
hey,
Like a
rides,
hay
everyone.
ride.
That's what it's good. Yeah.
It really is fun.
Yes, we have extra insurance just for that. It's
because there's
true.
going to be that one person that says, "Here,
The
hold my
one
beer, watch
person.
this." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We are in the South, so there you go. But anyway, we don't give out the actual location until someone reaches out to get tickets, and we send email information for that, because we want to keep it safe and chill and calm, and just make sure that it stays the little boutique thing it's supposed to be, and the people who are supposed to be there are, and the people who aren't supposed to be there aren't. So it's all good.
It was last year. It was so far being our first year, it was amazingly successful. Like, we had 250 people out in the audience, and we worked hard, but we didn't work that hard. Do you think, Stampy?
Speak for yourself, Steph Mayhem.
Well, okay, we worked hard, but I mean, I guess we just told people about it, and I think people were ready to get out of COVID, and I think people were ready to be outside and hear good music and blah blah blah. But I don't know. It was just I don't know. I think this year I'm hoping people just show up and have a great time, and there'll be truck food vendors out there, and a wine and beer vendor, and you don't need to bring anything except your lovely selves, really.
And a low back chair, so
and a low
everybody can
back
see
chair.
over you. Yeah.
Yeah, don't bring a director's chair that's really high up. Then somebody will shoot a spit wad at you or something with a straw. I don't know.
Put you at the back of the class.
Yeah.
That's all. It is handicap accessible. I just want to say that, because I know sometimes people don't come because they think they can't, but we've been aware of that and made accommodations to make it easy. So I want to invite everybody for that as well.
And I'm just gonna put this out there, but if anyone's hearing this right now, and we may put their draw a hat thing in the draw and stuff, and the winner will win a ride in the sidecar on my scooter.
We are not liable for that. That's you on your own. Just letting everybody know.
Damn it! I have a
And right
vintage
now,
scooter.
this
I'm
is
dying
not
to give
related to
somebody a
Artemis
ride.
Fest. Not related.
Oh,
No.
Stampy, you're so grown
Oh.
up.
Don't worry, I'll
not
come.
well.
I'll bring the
I'm
motorcycle.
feeling an
and just
empty.
watch
I'm
y'all do
feeling
that.
I'm feeling the empty.
Boring. we call Stampy foghorn sometimes because it's boring.
I didn't know that till just now. Thanks for sharing.
I just made that up.
Okay.
We love Stampy. She does keep us in our she keeps me out of trouble a lot. You have no idea.
That's good, because I'm afraid they'd start calling me then, because she'd stop answering after the jail. You know, they'd be like, "Hey, can you?" No, sorry.
Yeah, she's getting out of jail a lot, I'm sure. Thank you, Stampy. I love you, dear.
Donna, we haven't let you
so-
answer any other good questions, so go for it.
Well, I think you've answered everything about Artemis Fest. So let's talk a little bit more about women in general. So I'd like to know, because this is one thing we do on normal interviews, is we ask, who are the women that have inspired you musically?
Bobby Gentry. I love Bobby Gentry. Okay, so a long time ago in the 60s, when I first heard Bobby Gentry, and I was a wee little, 3-4-year-old girl, women were not allowed to play guitar. Did you know that? They were not allowed to play guitar on TV. In fact, I was on TV and I was not allowed to play guitar in the 90s. Do you believe it? But so here was Bobby Gentry, and all these women were in these beautiful chiffon dresses. And I like to sing, but I was not going to do that because I could not see myself even then in the chiffon dress. And then here comes Bobby Gentry with a pair of Levi's and a white t-shirt and playing a guitar. And I turned around at the age of 4 and I said, "Mama, I want to do that." And when I got old enough to hold a guitar, they got me a guitar. And sure enough, the rest is history. I loved her.
That's a great selection. I wish I could say I had just one, but in terms of setting the stage of influence going forward, I had a lot after this. But my first 2 women were Linda Ronstadt, because she could do everything and do it well. And she put the best people together around her. She didn't write. So it was, for the most part, I think she may have a little bit later, but she curated these amazing songs. And I lived in the liner notes. That's where I discovered Lou Harris. That's where I discovered Elvis Costello. That's where I discovered, that like the old traditional stuff, like A Mother's Smile, that old Stamps Baxter published song about the guy in the prison who missed his mom. And I mean, it was, and appreciated that, which I would not have heard elsewhere. But she was a huge, and continues to be a huge inspiration for me. The other is Karen Carpenter, who was a fabulous drummer. She gets dissed, and we know why. But she was a jazz player. She was amazing. And I wanted to play drums and was told I couldn't in the 5th grade when they were recruiting band members because girls didn't play drums. But I knew Karen Carpenter played drums shortly thereafter. And it's like, I am going to play drums. And I also immediately thought you were supposed to be able to sing and play. So that was just the norm. And that's what I did, which helped set my path for my career, which is still going. I get hired to play percussion, do background singing, and add the occasional smart comment, which is part of why I get hired also, if they want that, a little flavor.
Stampy, I would say you've played with some amazing people.
I have. I've been very fortunate.
I mean, you're one of those kind of people like, "Oh, I need a percussion player. I'm coming to your town." Kathy Stamps. That's just the name comes out of everybody's mouth. Kathy Stamps.
That's good. I like that. Keep that coming. So I'm excited about that. But I have gotten to, play with some great people, and I'm a Nashville native. So I should have learned better, but I didn't. But the part I did learn was how to pay your bills without losing your love of music by playing bad music just to pay your bills. And so, there are a lot of us who I would call blue collar musicians that are doing the work and keeping the passion alive without, I'm not aiming for stardom. That's not ever been my goal. It's been about creating things with talented people. And so it's just been, that's been a lot of fun.
Beautiful. So I'm going to go one more step here and to ask, other than the festivals that both of us have held, okay, tell me your top 2 favorite concerts or festivals.
Oh, I followed Fleetwood Mac like for 2 summers, and I would see them again and just probably love them. I just can't pay, $5,000 for a decent ticket when you used to pay $15. But man, they were good. I loved that concert, and I loved Oh, Elton John was good too. Concerts were so fun back then. It was different. I don't know, but I also like going to the Bluebird and hearing somebody new. I loved going to hear Nancy Griffith. Every time I could hear Nancy, I loved it. So sometimes
that's a hard question.
Yes, sometimes small concerts when they're really just right there in your face at the Bluebird or at City Winery, hearing Laura McKenna or any of those people, it's just good to, I don't know. I just think small concerts are sometimes better because you really get to know the person or the story or whatever. Sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's good. One that comes to mind of ones I did not play in. That's what I'm going to say first. I would say Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings at the Station Inn, which is a small venue in Nashville. And that was just a magical night. It's been over a decade ago now, but it was really amazing. And I'm sure they've been back, but that was a big one for me. And I'm going to actually go ahead and say Prince, when he did his album that he released himself and included it in the ticket price as a way to get to the top of the charts without having to depend on radio people. And I thought that was the smartest thing I ever heard in my life at the time. It's like, you go, man. But that was the tightest band I've ever seen, with the exception, I'm cheating, I have to say one more, Joan Armatrading.
Oh, yeah.
Played at a war memorial back when I was in my 20s. And that was a tight band, and she was amazing. And she's another person who I don't think she's gotten a lot of acclaim, but she has not gotten what I think is due her at all.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She was always at that precipice. She was always just almost, and just one little push would have sent her over to the stardom. But I just like, God, why? Gosh, she was good. She's still good.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll go back once more to the festival and I'll ask the question. This also goes to a friendship level too. Hypothetically, if I came to the festival with a dead body, do you know a good place to hide it?
Well, I'll start by saying we're on a farm. And I was arguing with Steph earlier about that 3 acres that she wasn't supposed to tell you about. So I don't know, Steph, what would you say?
Well, is the person already dead?
Yes, it's a dead body, remember?
Oh, yes, because I hug a lot of people, but usually I just hug them to see how big I need to make if they hurt my friend. I'm like, oh, it's nice meeting you. How big do I need to make the grave if you hurt my friend? So if they're already dead, then what was the question? How
a place to hide the body.
Oh, we've got
or wait, I have a feeling you're going to turn this into like a weekend at Byrne's here. You're going to just make sure that the corpse.
No, well, we might actually just take some fun pictures. And then I actually have a friend. I'm not going to say her name, Devin O'Day, but she's got pigs. Pigs eat anything. Perfect. Done.
So we've got you covered on multiple fronts.
Mm-hmm. Or we can make barbecue like they did on fried green tomatoes.
We could do that too.
We've got you covered. Don't worry. No one's going to go to jail today.
I think I have suddenly become a vegetarian though myself. So
don't worry. I've got people. Trust me.
Okay. So what if at the festival we have a zombie apocalypse? Is that covered too? Do we have everything prepared for that?
Stampy probably does. She's probably developed a zombie spray by now. Stampy, you do everything.
Well, I have been working on a scented spray. Interesting you mentioned that. That smells like
patchouli
ripe flesh. And patchouli is a good cover. So we'll spray all our people with that, and we'll spray this far away, and they're slow movers, as you know. So by the time they get over to realize there's nothing there, we'll all be gone. So that'll do it.
Perfect. I'm so glad. Okay, so security is handled, and last but not least, hold on. There's a puppy on a chair that would like to get down. Puppy's down, and she's like, "I want to leave you." I'm like, "Okay, let me help you." So the last question is, will Waldo be there? He scares me. That's why I want to know.
Waldo is a she or he?
No, he. You know, where's
But we
Waldo?
just watch for the hat. We just watch for the hat. And if he scares you, we can see about corralling him somewhere to.
Now
from
I'm wanting to
wandering.
wear my where's Waldo sweater. Just and I'll give you a diaper at the thing just in case you do get that scared.
Okay, thank you.
If you know what I mean.
I think the game has changed to where's Steph.
Where's Steph? Yeah.
I can look just like Waldo. Now I want to come to your house in Florida and stand out your window in my Waldo sweater.
She's been
That
in
would
my
be
haunted
great.
houses before, so I know she scares people. So I will try to contain her as much as I can when we're anywhere near you, Donna, but that's all I can say.
That's
I love to
okay.
scare
That's okay.
people.
I will take Steph to some of the haunted houses. It'll all be good because I don't scare that
You'll love
easily
that.
usually
That'd be
when we
good.
go. So it'd be good. So, all right. So everyone, make sure you go get your tickets, and we will have all the links in the YouTube coming up if they're not there already, as well as on Facebook and everywhere, and our website on crazywomencountry.com, so you can go get tickets. And we'll see you
October
all on October 8th.
Are you
Yes,
going to be
ma'am.
there?
October 8th.
Are you going to come? Are you being there?
I may not. I'm not sure yet. I have to double check, but with work and stuff, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sneak away. So
Oh, because now it's your new big wig. Well, come so I can hug your neck. I've not seen you in a while.
I know, kiddo. I'm keep calling you kiddo every time we text. I'm like, yeah. Mhm.
Because I'm so young.
Donna, thank you for having us too. We appreciate everything that you're doing
Oh God,
in
yeah.
your part of the world, and appreciate you supporting us in our part of the world, and looking forward to working together more and introducing you to more people as you introduce us to more people. So, great talent. Get it out there where it belongs, right?
Donna, thank you for being
Absolutely.
one of those nice people I was talking about. Those ones that just want to do it because they love to do it. Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure. It really
You
is.
are really,
because,
you
we need
do
to-
it with a pure heart, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you. And
If
it's
you
been
were
a
there-
pleasure having both of you.
I'm smooching you. Mwah.
Well, thank you.
I love you guys so much.
Oh.
I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to be out of Arkansas and done painting, and then see you, Donna, in October, because I know you're going to come.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you all
working you.
for joining us. I'm joining.
All you brave
Yes.
people, thank you for hanging in there this long.
Yeah.
Love all you brave people. Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening or afternoon, whatever time of the day, or night if you're over in Europe, or day in the early morning of